It's P. Mashiach here, giving some P. Mashiach direction on the P. Mashiach channel. Today, gonna be talking some prophecy stuff. I'll be waiting until everybody kind of settles in here, and maybe I get a visitor. So anyway, here we are. Gonna be talking prophecy. Let's go. Let's go. I'm the P. Mashiach. If you need to ask me a question, I'm available. It's what it's all about, Ask me a question on anything. Now, here I am. Got the Messianic complex. Yep. My ego's big. I'm going to save the world. There we go. That's what it's all about. If you're a P. Mashiach, you know what I know. I know. That's right. That's right, man. I love my fellow P. Mashiachs out there in the world, man. They're my favorites. They're my favorites anywhere, because they're living the dream. Who else wouldn't want to be a P. Mashiach? You know what I mean? Seems like it's a pretty exclusive club. But anyway, just chilling out, waiting for anybody to come on in and give me a chat, give me a hi, give me a hello, Got a question about a prophecy? Give me a holler. Got a question about the Bible? Give me a holler. Got a question about the Torah? Give me a holler. Got a question about Jesus? Give me a holler. Got a question about Muhammad? I'm available. I do work as Imam Mahdi on the side right now. I'm a Imam Mahdi too, but I leave that one alone. We keep that one for now anyway, because is what it is. All I got, my father's name is like Muhammad's name, or my name is like Muhammad's name, and my father's name is like Muhammad's father's name. That's all I got. Well, and I got the mark of the prophet on my wing, the back of my wing and my thigh. Yeah, did you hear, man? Freaking Trump praising Allah. What's up with that? You know what I mean? He's like, praise Allah. Praise Allah. Gonna send you some bombs and praise Allah. Hey, Simone, Marie, how's everybody doing today? Yeah, got any questions? Go ahead, ask away. I'm available. P. Mashiach right here. Got any questions about prophecy? Any, what you're doing? Today I'm just chilling out. I got time. I just was digging in my yard. Hi there, Chad. Yeah, I was digging in my yard. Hey, how are you, Jay Short? I'm doing really good. Thanks for stopping by. Eleanor Eliza, I remember you. Yep. Thanks for stopping by again. Yep. I know you stop in every now and again. But anyway, yeah, just taking questions, doing some P. Mashiach stuff today. But the whole Trump thing with, calling on Allah, that was, I will sub and like you so kind. Okay, there you go. Well, you're so kind too, TJ Shorts, 13. Yep, I come from a family of 13. We only got 11 left now. I lost my brother 2 weeks ago. Lost a brother. Yeah, he died. Had cancer. Went quick, man. It was like he called or he came out and said he had the cancer, and then he died. He was my Gemini twin. He's not a twin. I know. I'm Gemini rising, and he was a Gemini. We're both 12 years apart. He was a nice guy, He was gay. He was a gay man. He was my brother though. We weren't too close. But we got along when we did. We both like music and we both like the arts. And so it was, it's too bad. He was 12 years, we were 12 years apart. And I had Jupiter and Gemini. And when I was born, Gemini was rising. And he was a Gemini with Jupiter already. So, I look at it like that. He was my Gemini twin, It is what it is. But yeah, we both had Jupiter. And Jupiter is in Gemini right now, you know? So right now we got Jupiter in Gemini. And it's the year he dies. How strange. How, kind of the planets do speak to you, like they say God does have like this way that if you do watch the stars and the stories that are already in there, I mean, it's kind of like, oh, well, you are so nice too, Eleanor. The stars, I mean, if you do follow them, sometimes it hits and sometimes it does make sense, you know. No, this ain't no joke. I'm the P Mashiach. This is what it is. I'm here. I'm available. Ask some questions. It's another day in the world of being a P Mashiach. So yeah, I mean that's what it's all about, just getting on here every once in a while and just kind of mixing it up with the peeps, that, are in the prophecy, are in the eschatology, are into these things. And, sometimes I look up at the stars. I was born under Ikea Siki, 1965. That's one of the greatest comets in the last 2,000 years. I was born on December 25th, first day of Ramadan, sixth day of Hanukkah. It is what it is. That's what happens when you're a P Mashiach and you're watching the stars. So yeah, I think everything's kind of like that's his logbook. That's kind of like Hashem's logbook. If you really want to see what was happening, go back on what all the stars are doing. Now we could really like trace it too. Molly McIntyre. Sweet Molly, they're in Dublin's fair city, where the girls are so pretty. It was there I first met sweet Molly Malone. She drove a wheelbarrow through the streets cold and narrow, singing cockles and mussels, alive, alive, oh, alive, alive. Yes, it's coffee. See, I know songs about Molly. My father loved that song. That's how I know that song. My father loved the Molly Malone story. He just loved it. So, growing up with my dad, I loved everything about my dad, So if he liked the song, I liked the song. That's how it works. He was a strict father. He was, a sheepmate. He was a mender. He was a worker of metal. And yeah, I love coffee too. I drink too much though. You know what I think with coffee? I drink so much of it. It's not the caffeine that hurts me, is I get oversaturated. Like I just drink too much to where I become like too filled with fluid. So I think I really have to knock it down a little bit, I think it does more harm to me because I drink so much fluid. I'm just always sipping at the thing. Today I was going to put my body in a apophagy, which would have like, I don't drink any water, I don't drink any fluid, and I just eat, or don't even eat. I just, no fluid, no food for a day. So I was going to put my body into a because I'm just filled with too, and then, I don't know, the neighbor down the street called me. He just lost his leg. So he's like calling me like, because he needs stuff. So I had to go down there today and I got busy. And anyway, it ended up, I had a glass of water and then I started cooking and my body's not an apophagy anymore. I'm getting ready to go to Hawaii. Oh my God, that's awesome. I wish I was going to Hawaii. That would be so much fun. But anyway, I'm not. I'm sitting here in Michigan with an Illinois shirt on. I grew up in Chicago, but it is what it is. Yeah, so my father was a good guy. He was a good guy. He liked Molly Malone. He loved that song. So yeah, about prophecy, like where are we at in prophecy right now? What are we looking at? I mean, look at what Trump just did the other day or yesterday. What was it? Easter or something, man? I mean, he's telling the Iranians, hey, man, you listen, you got till Tuesday. And I don't know, but I think he's serious this time. I'm outside right now and I just found out there's a little path to my neighbor's house. Well, isn't that nice? Should walk it. Who knows? Who knows what you'll find? Yeah, just see what's there. But anyway, yeah, so anyway, Trump, he goes ahead and he tells them, you know, thank you, Allah, or something like that. He like thanked Allah, or I don't know, but whatever. Allah's just another name for God. It's just God. Allah. It's God. They say that's Allah is like a Hebrew term for God. So is what it is. I mean, maybe we're coming into it where like the powers that be are now blending, where they're gonna like start blending the three religions of Abraham into one God. So this Allah or this Abba or whatever, man, is going to be indistinguishable from another sect. Let's see. I feel like my grandpa is trying to learn Spanish because my neighbors are Spanish. And I also know Spanish because one of my neighbors are my friends. Que pasa? There you go. Que pasa, amigos? There you go. There you go. So anyway, yeah. So the whole thing with Trump and calling on the the Allah, what you're gonna do? That's it. He could pray to any God he wants. This is a free country. If he wanted to say that he was going to thank the spaghetti monster, I mean, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I mean, they're all saying he's flipping out, but he's calling on the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob when he says Allah, because all Allah is God in Aramaic. So it doesn't matter. But anyway, I'm trying to figure out the prophecy right now, man. I think everybody's saying we're in the Gog and Magog thing. All right? And I'm not buying it right now. I mean, I know that's an easy one to like go with, like we're Gog, we're Magog, and we don't really know who Gog and Magog is. So I'm like, hey, hold on, because even in that prophecy, like they gotta burn wooden spears and swords. And we don't use wooden spears and swords for war anymore. So I'm thinking that there might be something else to all this. There must be something else to it. Because I don't know what else it could be. If it is the Gog and Magog, I'm not saying, I know prophecy like totally. Like who really does? Everybody kind of seems like they're always guessing. I mean, how many what do they call it? The raptures have we been through in our lifetime? I mean, we've been through like I don't know. I would say close to what I know. Probably like close to 100 raptures. Like to where a rapture is going to happen every other season. It seems now that you got the internet, a rapture is happening every freaking lunar cycle. It's gotten rapture nuts. It's just gotten rapture crazy. And, I didn't mind the rapture every once in a while. I could deal with it, kind of dwell on, oh, maybe there's going to be a rapture. A rapture. Okay. The rapture's bad. Okay. But when it's every other lunar season, lunar calendar month, you lose interest in the rapture. I mean, it kind of gets old, you know. I mean, it's kind of like, all right, already, you know. I mean, you're gonna hit it. I don't even think it's ever gonna hit. I just don't think that's one that's gonna happen. I mean, people floating up in the air, and you know, it's just too much for me. It's just too much for me to even. It's just too much for me to even think about. You know, I mean, it is. It's just. I got to think in human terms, in human ways, what our technology is today. Unless, all right. I'll give them this one because I think the third temple. I think it's going to be made of pure light. I'm sorry that I just left my brother took my phone. Well, that's terrible, Chad. Brother taking your phone like that. That stinks. Well, anyway, it's okay. You're back now, so you don't have to be sorry you left. You know, you're back now. Everybody's happy. You got your phone. We're all cool. So anyway, oh, what a quaint little group today I've had. This has been awesome. You know, just kind of people chiming in here and there and checking in and coming by and saying hi. So anyway, so I think we are oversaturated with rapture ready issues. I'm not buying the rapture no more. Even though I'm saying that we're going to have a temple of light. I think there's going to be this temple because I read, I don't know, about 3-4 months ago, what they've done is they've taken light and they've turned it into a solid. So I'm thinking temple. You know, here I am, P Mashiach. All right, temple, light, temple, solid. You know, this changed the whole ball game on what the temple material is going to be. So I'm like, is Justin the Messiah? Justin, man, hung up on me yesterday, dude. I know. What's up with that, man? I was just getting started on the resurrection. You know what? Know what's up with Justin? I'm going to tell you what's up with Justin. You guys got to watch his show. He's got this show. The I don't know, one of those thinking atheist shows. You know, Caleb, get a hold of Caleb there. Caleb 8634. He'll send you a link. But anyway, Justin, you know, I try to give him my truth. He's the atheist. He doesn't know how to handle me. He doesn't know how to handle the truth, like of who I am. And like the truth that I carry. He doesn't know what's going to come next. He knows he's going to be surprised by a truth bomb. And he you know, what did he do? He's sitting there eating his cracker. See him eating that big old cracker? He wanted me to say something. He was like trying to poke the bear. But I left it alone. You know, I mean, if I want to eat my matzah, I'll eat my matzah. But I ain't going to be sporting it out there like, you know, look at me. I'm a big guy eating my matzah. You know, whatever, man. Anyway, I proved to him that he wasn't the Messiah. Or he was. Because he was saying, I'm the Messiah. And I said, well, you're from the house of David? You know, that was one of them. And he was like, well, yeah. He goes, yeah. Like, yeah. Like, but if you have a ancestor that is Jewish, or you don't even know about this ancestor that is Jewish, that could have been 2,500 years ago, whatever, you know, maybe you were like caravanning around, your peoples were caravanning through the Middle East, you know, for search of, I don't know, better land or something, and then, you know, you met up with the Jew girl and she had your kid behind the house. I mean, you never know what could have happened, you know? And then, you know, raised Jewish for a while and then you're carried off as a slave. Who knows? That's what I'm saying. So the whole thing is, though, if he, because I said, do you come from the Davidic line? What did he say? He says, yeah, he was playing around with me. But I was like, okay, then, you're possibly the Mashiach. You could be Mashiach ben David, right? You're coming from the Ben David line. In because they hang up on me. I get started, man. I start telling them my truth, and the deconstruction zone hangs up on me like yesterday. I don't know what else to do. That's why I just go along with whatever I go along with. I don't even, this is it. Here I am. I got my one-man party today. Whatever. But the whole thing is, man, is I'm just trying to give them my truth. I'm trying to give everybody the truth as I know it, as my own journey has taken me without any BS. I didn't leave yet, so I just want to say that you're my favorite. Hey, thanks, Chad. So anyway, the whole thing is yeah, so the prophecies that we're going into with the rapture, I mean, I'm done with the rapture. Like I said, the rapture that those people have gotten into, man, the rapture's coming every lunar calendar month. So I don't buy it. I just move along. Done with the whole rapture ready stuff, all that stuff. I was never into it anyway. I never really could buy it. I just was like, it's just too many rapture stories. It never ends. It almost seems like there's a purpose behind all that. So anyway, yeah. Yeah, so we got the whole Magog, the who's Gog, who's Magog. They're coming in from the north. One means from the ceiling, and the other one means of the cloud. Gog means of the cloud. Magog means of the ceiling. So it's one of those things that you're really going to have to look at after all prophecy is done. It's kind of like if you go in walking into it with it, it's a failure. It's a bust. But if you look at it afterwards, and you could say, okay, it hit totally. But I don't see where they're going to burn the wooden swords like they say in Ezekiel 38, where they're going to burn the wooden sword and the wooden shields for warming fires. I don't see where that's going to happen. And they say, well, it's just a metaphor. It's just a metaphor that, just saying that all the weapons are going to be laid down and they're just going to burn them like they won't need them anymore. All right, I could buy it, I guess. You know what I mean? I could buy it as long as it goes into the next prophecy right now, because we're getting in to bearing up on Ezekiel 40. And that's where, the end of Ezekiel 39 is where I come in, it seems like. It's where the P Mashiach comes in somewhere in Jerusalem. Because it's the hardest prophecy right now to really understand. And I have this like feeling that the Mashiach, who I think I am, needs to be a part of. Like to fulfill that in one way or another. I'm still trying to understand it myself. Because then we get into the temple building. Then we're going to have to get into the temple building and what Mashiach, and I haven't really read after that. I'm to the temple measurements. Ezekiel 40. That's where I'm like ending right now. When we get there, when we start measuring out, and I'm thinking, like I said, I'm thinking that we have the technology today. All right? We have the technology. Like to build a temple. And like we could be stupid. We could be still stupid And we could make the temple out of rocks and stones and all the material that we used to use. And we learned that if you use those type of materials, well, there's a good chance an earthquake is going to shake it down, okay? Or a war or a bomb is, hey, how you doing, Chad? Or a war or a bomb is going to come in and explode the temple. Okay, so why would we make it out of rock and stone? Why would we be that stupid? That would be one of the stupidest things you could do right now. We are on the cusp of making bricks out of light. If we could make light solid, make it a solid light, okay? That's what they're doing. They're making this light into a solid. If we could make light into a solid, why don't we just wait until the technology is there to where this light for the temple that we make the stones out of, light stones, light stones. That's what we need to wait for. I mean, I wouldn't want, I mean, as Mashiach, all right? As Mashiach, I don't want any part of a stone temple. I don't want no part of it. Because I have the knowledge that we could build something better. In the year 2026, I think something's coming our way. And all we got to do is be patient. That's it. Just be patient. Just be patient and see where it goes. Who knows? An earthquake may come and wipe out everything that's already there. And if our temple would have been there made of stone, it would have been wiped out too. We don't need another temple destroyed. That's all I'm saying. If we're going to build another temple, it needs to be indestructible. You know, and we can't count on right now. We cannot count on Hashem to give us these materials like out of nowhere. We just can't do that. We know better. We know how Hashem works. We know his ways, right? I mean, we do. And right now, his ways are like, all right, I got you guys this. You know what? This is how I look at it. All right, we got Hashem, right? We got Hashem. He's like a father. He's like a father. He's like an Abba. So he's been working with this pitiful human race that we've been trying to get us to where that beautiful utopia that we all are deserving of in his eyes. You know, he keeps on trying to tell us, let's go, but a lot of times he has to give us the laws of Shaitan, and, you know, it gets complicated. But he's got us this far, all right? Hashem's brought us this far. The ingathering has happened, or is happening. You know, I think it's already happened. I think the numbers are already there. I think whatever the numbers were when they had them in, I'm going to Hawaii now. Bye. I'll come back on the stream when I come back. You go have a coconut and a pineapple on me, Chad, and tell everybody in Hawaii I said aloha. All right. So anyway, the whole thing is the ingathering of the Jewish people. The numbers that they had when they left Jerusalem. The numbers that they had when they left Jerusalem, like what was the number of people in Israel at that time, of Jewish people? Well, that's the ingathering. Once that number is reached again, the ingathering has already, it's happened. That was the number. That was the number that was to return. And if there's extra, there's extra. That's fine. And if the Jewish people are happy where they're at in their own little Zions in the world, that's fine too. Who cares? Right? They're happy. Listen, This is the whole thing, okay? Hashem. Hashem is also called Abba, right? Father. What does every father want in the end? All right? What does every father want? He wants his children to get out on their own. You know, you don't have to call all the time. I don't have to always peep in on you. I don't have to always show myself to you. I always don't have to be there. Be there. You know what I mean? You got to get off on your own. You got to make it on your own. And I'm going to teach you how to do that. Once you make it on your own, you're going to be okay. That's what Hashem wants us to do. And so with the temple, I mean, we've had a couple, learning experiences. The first one was after, it was built up by David's son, right? Solomon. And Solomon got the first temple up. What happened to it? Boom, burnt down. Friggin' Babylonians tore the first temple down. No more. Built of stone and rubble. But you know what? That's how Hashem works. We got to work in the own level of our technology. Did you ever, there comes a point in time to where you just, I've had it with my own son. It's kind of like, leave me alone, Dad. I'll take care of it from here. Then what do? You sit back, you watch him. He messes up, but he's young. He doesn't have a mind yet to work out what's really to do. He's experiencing new things. So you just let him do it, and you watch his sandcastle go down. You don't build a castle in the sand. You know better. You gotta reinforce that baby. Make it more structurally sound. Put up some walls. Put up some walls, but thicker. Make sure no invading army gets in. Don't be stupid. So that's how Hashem has been working with us with this temple. So the second temple, then here we go. We get in there, man. We start working with this temple again. We're gonna build the best temple around. Nobody's ever gonna knock this one down. This one's gonna be totally reinforced, everything. And who comes around? The Romans. Here they come. Boom. Temple destroyed. Not even a rock is left. Not even a rock. Not one rock was left on the temple. For the old temple. You got rocks laying around so where the temple might have been. There's this one stone that says the trumpet stone. So they must have been blowing the trumpets from there. But the whole thing is Rome destroyed the temple. And then, another Mashiach of his time even tried to gather another temple while after that one. It just was about 70 years later, it could have been fulfilling the prophecy that Jesus said, hey, I'm going to return, and nothing came of it. He didn't build the third temple. He didn't rebuild the temple. With Simon Bar, whatever his name was, back in the day when they were supposed to build the temple. But anyway, that's not what I'm trying to say. I'm just saying that, all right, Hashem allowed it. He allowed the first temple to be destroyed because of our ignorance. We're just stupid creatures. He allowed the second temple to be destroyed because we just don't learn quick enough. And the Romans came and they destroyed that one, and then everybody got kicked out. It was like Hashem threw us out of the house. You know what? Where I grew up, my dad was like Hashem. You were 18. You were either going to school or you got the fuck out of the house. I came from a family of 13. That was his rule. If you didn't go to school, man, you packed your bags at 18. You had to go figure. I was number 12. I've never had to experience that. Because by the time I got to 18, my dad was passed away. I had too many kids, killed them. I'm telling you. And a bad diet, too. Bad diet and too many kids, too much stress. That was too much. 70s with 13 kids, you're talking all the drugs, all the just. It was such a changing atmosphere at that time. Everything was changing just massively in a cultural sense to where reality wasn't reality anymore. What you thought wasn't. I mean, we're figuring that out now. But anyway, the whole thing is I got booted out of the house at 18. I had to go on my own exile. Yeah, I had to go wander the desert. I had to go figure it out. And that's what happened. That's what happened when the robes came in. We got rebellious little teenage punks. Bratty and trying to take control when we don't deserve it and killing people on crosses. Well, we were killing people on crosses, but we were stoning the women. We were stoning the women. We were, there were, laws to kill people for nonviolent offenses. The judgment was corrupt. The judgments were corrupt. That's what was corrupted. And that's why the temple had to go at that time. Hashem already knew this. We didn't know it. Because we thought we knew everything. So what happened? Temple got destroyed. And here we go. We go in exile. The lost tribes of Israel. They were dispersed throughout Europe. Anybody could say they're part of Jewish, probably. Somewhere in the line. Believe me. Cities and towns don't have borders. Either do I think there was a lot of injustice done to the Jews too, to where there were a lot of probably rape babies. I would say that came out of the people in exile. I could possibly be one of them. And I could be from a woman who I could have been from a woman Jew who was raped. But regardless of where my 1%, no percent Jewishness comes in, to where I'm only a Jew of essence from a story only, is what it is. That's what happened. The people were dispersed. We're all dispersed. We got to learn our lessons. We're going to have to learn our life lessons, fall down. But never stop believing that we'd return home. And the temple would be rebuilt. That's in all of us. That's what's having the Jew in you is all about. But now, since it has happened, the ingathering is past, pretty much, or about to be, counted as fulfilled, right? I mean, how can you not? Then we got to start looking at the temple. That's just how it goes. That's just how it goes, and that's what's happening. And that's where we're at. And if you make your Zion outside of Israel or you make your Zion inside Israel, whatever, man, you know what that temple stands for. You know what that temple means. Who knows? Maybe we could, if that temple is like, if we really plan this temple out right, okay, and we make it out of light, just pure light, we could probably one day take it, bring it up, and show it throughout every nation of the world. In every nation of the world where there is one of Jewish ancestry, descendancy, one who follows his Shem naturally, can visit that temple. I think there's a million things that can be done if we just be patient. You know, we just wait it out. I'm saying within the next 20 years. Since technology is doubling upon doubling upon doubling upon doubling like every 5 minutes. I don't know what it is now, but it's something, you know? It's like technology just keeps on, you know, if you got the technology right now and you're on top of the pack, man, watch out. Because you're going to know a million times more. That's going to double into a million times more than the person that's 5 minutes behind you. Just what it is. And so, in that line of thought, we are going to be able to harness the knowledge to make light solid. There ain't no need for, because there will not be a need for a red heifer because everything will be made of light. And light will not need to be cleansed in any way. Light alone is perfect. It's straight from Hashem. It's an embodiment of Hashem. It's a large part of his strand of DNA is the light. And when we harness that ability to make it a pure solid, and this is what I'm thinking. I'm thinking you could probably even expand that light. Like we will be able to expand that brick of light. Like just let's say we got a regular, we make a brick of light, you know, like a 10-inch by 4-inch by 3-inch regular brick of light. Like you could take that brick of light, you could just walk around with it anywhere. It's real light, doesn't weigh a lot, but if you put it down, it sticks to the ground. It stays there like a sunlight just clasping to the ground. You know, like your regular sunlight outside just holds on to the ground. But if you bring it up into the sky, it expands and it expands and it expands. And then when we bring it down, we decompress it, make it solid, boom, sticks to the ground. Then when we bring it up, it expands and expands and expands, and then we see it in the heavens. And we could take that temple and we could float it wherever we wanted. Like they could take that temple and float it right to I got a huge spot right in front of my house right here. They could take that temple. Here I am. I am a Zionist. My God is Hashem. Wherever my feet are my Zion. they'll be able to one day take that temple, lift it up, bring it over, let it float over here to where I'm at in the place of hope, and lay down that temple, and I could walk out my door, and this will be the size that fits on the Temple Mount right here, but when it's in the sky, it's the size of what Ezekiel has written. That's how I think it's going to happen. Sometimes I think it's so beautiful that just to even think about it, I don't got it right. I don't have it right. I think that sometimes. Like the building of the third temple is going to be so beautiful that to even think about it, to even think about how that's going to be, it ain't it. It's even more beautiful than that. But I'm saying, here we are, our Abba Father. Here we come back now. Third temple. Years have passed since the people have been placed into exile. 2,000 years. And here we are now, more knowledgeable, with nations around the world that know the Torah. Everybody knows the Torah. Everybody knows the Torah. And thank God, then we would have to thank Allah for Muhammad and thank God for Jesus, because without them, the Torah would not have reached the Arabs or the Europeans or the Asians or the Americans or anybody of other nations other than the Israelites. So I thank Allah for Muhammad, and I thank Abba for Jesus for bringing the Torah to the people, to the Arabs, and to the Gentiles. Now, is it corrupt? Yes. Not the Torah, but the books that they brought the Torah in. Got a lot of shaitan leanings in there. A lot of agreements with the shaitan that they played with. So we got to sit down at the table of the Torah. That's what we got to do. We got to figure this out now. And we all come. I mean, we're talking all of us. We're talking all the children of Abraham now. We're looking at the Islamics, the Jewish, and the Christians. We all got to come together now. We all got to figure this out. I mean, we're not stupid. I'll tell you, the only ones that are afraid of me right now, the only ones that are they drop my calls, everything. They can't even are the non-theist. The ones that are just totally saying there is no God. I get on the phone with them, start talking to them, click. Start having a conversation with them, click. They shut me, they poo-poo it, they lie, they cheat, they steal, they bite, they kick, they groan, they moan. But they don't take me head on, one-on-one, and keep the conversation going in the realm of the truthful matter at hand. What's really the truth going on? That's what's going on. That's what's happening. So Ezekiel 40, that's all I talk about now. That's all that is on my mind is Ezekiel 40. Ezekiel 40 right now Well, 39, the end of 39, 40, right there, man. The last half of 39 and all of 40. However, because I have no control in anything else. My job is P Mashiach. Mashiach is I have no control over the whole Gog Magog thing. However that is going to be presented is going to be presented. It may be America against Iran. I don't think it is. I don't think it is, but I can be wrong. Even as Mashiach. I could be wrong about that one. I'm just waiting for Ezekiel halfway into 39, going into 40. That's all I'm worried about right now is P Mashiach. That's all my concern is. And the August 2nd eclipse. The August 2nd, 2027 eclipse. I'm trying to make it to Israel. There's something about that day. I haven't really looked into it. I know it's August 2nd. I know that there's something going on with 9 days of mourning afterwards with the Jewish people. And that kind of makes me step back a little bit. Because I don't want there to be any mourning. I just want us to enjoy the crescent sun. And I want to tell you a story about my daughter, who I see as the bride of Mashiach. And I want to tell you how happy I am just being in Israel. And I would thank all the Jews there and every person that's living there for allowing me to fulfill that prophecy that I just need to be there for. That crescent sun that I would just love to see. It's come a long way. It really means something. The crescent sun. And I got to be there. I'm going to try. I don't know if I'm going to be there. I don't know. It's like this whole prophecy, but ever since Hashem called to me and said, Peter, you got to go fulfill prophecies in the Americas. I'm telling you right now, I don't know how anything ever ends up. But I know it ends up the way it's supposed to. That's what I've seen. That it's going to end up the way it's supposed to. If I'm not going to be there, then I'm not supposed to be there. If I'm going to be there, I'm going to be there. But I have a longing. I'm trying. I'm trying for the bride of Mashiach. That's why I'm trying. I'm trying to make it there. She wants me there. Believe me. The story continues. And I just want to be able to. It's on my bucket list, you know? Is I want to be able to walk the stream in the old city of David. And sit in the old city of David. And sit in the spring waters. Just walk it. I don't know. That's what's coming to me. That's all that's coming to me. I'm going to try to make it. August 2nd, 2027. So the story ain't over. I'm trying. Continues on. That's where I'm at with prophecy. I'm not going over to Jeremiah. I'm just sticking with Ezekiel. Revelation to me is finished. It's done. It's over. Revelation is all done. Water is life. I want to know that life. I want to know that life at the Gohem Springs. I want to feel those waters. I want to touch them. At least be knee deep in it, you know? But who knows how the story will end, where the prophecy all goes. I'm trying. I'm trying my best. I'm only doing what Hashem wants me to do in the end. I hope I'm not saying yes to his shaitan. I hope I'm saying yes to his higher power. But sometimes I don't know until everything's over and complete. And I see what has come about. But I think I'm on the right track here. I really do. I think where I'm at right now, I'm on the right track. And in saying that, I hope everybody has a good day and had a good Easter and still having a good Passover. Passover ends Thursday, so I'm gonna have a special Thursday Passover. For some reason, they say the seventh day of Passover is very important too. That's tomorrow night, right? Or is that tonight? That would be tonight, 7, 8. Yeah, that's tonight. Seventh day of Passover is tonight. It's seventh day tonight. I don't know. I think they say something like big things happen, monumental changes. I don't know. But we'll see. We'll see what happens, see what goes on. Still Passover, so I thank Moses for leading the people out of Egypt. And it was genius. But we've all come a long way. And we know this story well. And I'm happy that it happened the way it happened. Because today, as we get closer to the end of the Messianic age and the beginning of utopia, we begin to see and know the mistakes that we have made and the agreements and the tactics we had to use to choose the shaitan at times, Hashem's shaitan. Hopefully we'll get past all that now. And we got to make it. We got to make it to that third temple, all of us. We'll make it. Just hold on. Don't be in such a rush to make out the temple out of loose stone. We know that don't work. We go with the best material that can be built for Hashem's heavenly temple. So be patient. Let's just be patient. We got a long time. We got a while. I say within the next 20 years. I say within the next 20 years. And there's a lot of things that could happen between another Gog and Magog event between now and then. But this might be the Gog Magog event. I don't know. Like I said, you're going to have to wait and see until it all ends. It's all completed, and then we can make sense about what the wooden spears and the wooden shields burning mean. Until I see those shields and that wood burning, and somebody makes sense of it out of a weapon, because you can't burn an M16, you can't burn a silver knife. What's left? What's left to burn on a weapon from 2026 to keep you warm? What a nuke bomb gonna keep us warm? You know. So anyway, I'm just saying, I'm keeping an eye on it because I'm keeping an eye on my people, Israel. And that's it. All right. Keep on keeping on. Enjoy your mitzvah. Enjoy your matz balls. Whatever. We're going to keep on going. We don't have much further to go, everybody. Messianic age.